All right, let's do this. This video is about the angles in triangles. Now, there's a whole bunch of different properties about the angles in triangles. Now, some of them are pretty much duplicates, but the first one is that the angles of a triangle will always add up to 180 degrees. Here's a little example for you. 50 plus 60 plus 70 is 180. But basically, all three of them will always add up to 180. They can always be different, but they have to add up to 180. In a right triangle, the two non-right angles will always add up to 90. But again, like I said, some of these are kind of repeats of one another. Obviously, 30 plus 60 plus 90 adds up to 180, and 180 minus 90 is 90. So you don't have to really memorize all of these different properties. This is just to kind of expose you to the different things that are happening. It can make some problems shorter algebraically, but really, as long as you know that the three angles add up to 180, you'll be good to go with problems number 1, 2, and 3. The three angles of an equilateral triangle are always 60 degrees. Well, if equilateral has three different angles, and the sum is 180, well, 180 divided by 3 is going to give you 60, and they have no choice. So that, again, just helps make some algebra problems shorter, but it's nothing you necessarily have to memorize. This next one's kind of nice for algebra problems. The exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles. Now, what are remote interior angles? Well, here's your exterior angle. So the remote interior are the two angles that are farthest away from it. And those are always going to add up to be equal to that exterior angle. Because if you have a straight line that adds up to 180, 180 minus 100 is 80. Now, if the angles in a triangle add up to 180 and you subtract the one that's inside, you're left with 100 left. So there you go. And finally, if two triangles have two congruent angles, well then, by default, the third one has to be congruent as well. So if this one's 40 and that one's 40 and this guy's 60 and that guy's 60, since those two are congruent and triangles add up to 180, well then, these two have to be congruent by default. Now, here's the thing. Like I just mentioned, it's all based on triangles adding up to 180 degrees. But those are just some different ways you can think about it. Okay? Because what you're going to be doing is a whole bunch of algebra problems using what you know about triangles and their angles. So the first thing we're going to do is start with the first problem. Like I said, if you know that you have a right triangle and the two non-right angles will always add up to 90, then all you have to do here is x plus 42 is equal to 90, giving you x is 48 degrees. Now, if you did not know that, if you did x plus 42 plus 90 equals 180, you're going to get x plus 132 equals 180, and you're going to subtract 132, and you're still going to get 48. So as I mentioned, it doesn't matter if you use this one or that one. You're going to get the same answer. Okay? Next one. Just think about it for a minute. What's the expression to find the missing angle? So how would you do that? You have one of two choices. You have 180 minus 90 minus 3x, or just 90 minus 3x because of the same property. So again, it really doesn't matter because 180 minus 90 is going to give you 90 anyway. So if you did it with the original 180 minus 90 minus 3x, 180 minus 90 is 90 anyway. So there you go. Next one. This one's going to require a little bit of algebra and then substituting. So the first thing you need to think about is what's given here. And you are given all three angles of the triangle. So that means add them all together. 10x plus 30 is the sum of all three. But we know that's going to equal 180 degrees. Subtract your 30. You get 10x is equal to 150, which means x is equal to 15. And now you just have to substitute 15 in to all of these angles. So you're going to substitute 15 into 4x, which is A. You're going to get 60 degrees. You're going to substitute 15 into angle B, which is 5 times 15, which is going to give you 75 degrees. And then angle C is 15 plus 30, which is 45 degrees. And there you go on that guy. Last one for now is the ratio of three angles in a triangle are 1 to 2 to 3. So we're going to find those three angles. So what you want to do is draw yourself a picture. Now the ratio, basically you just throw an X on all of them. So this guy's 1x, this guy's 2x, and this guy's 3x, or any order you want to draw it. It really doesn't matter. And now you just have to find all three angles. So the first thing you do is the same thing you did in number 3. You got to add them all up. 6x is equal to 180. Then you're going to find out that x is equal to 30, which means your three angles are 30, 60, and 90. And that's it. Okay? So, we got more for you. Here's the next 4. Now that you kind of have an idea of what's going on, you just have to use the properties mentioned above. I would like you to pause the video and try all 4 of these, and we'll see how you do. Give it a try. So let's do it. If you set 4x equal to 60 for this one, you are correct, because this is an equilateral triangle. So you should have gotten 15 for x. Yes, you could have done 12x is equal to 180, because all of these are 4x. So it really doesn't matter which one of those you wanted to do. This is an exterior angle, and we know one of the properties says that the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles. So x is equal to 30 plus 90, so you have 120 degrees. Moving on to number 7, which is the same type of problem as number 6. You have two remote interior angles and an exterior angle. The exterior is equal to the sum of the two remote interior. And with a little bit of magic, you're going to end up with x is equal to 30. So after you take your x equals 30, you have to substitute it back in. And that's going to give you, this angle right here is 4 times 30 is 120, minus 10 is 110 degrees. But we're looking for the interior angle. Since they are supplementary, you subtract 110 from 180 to find out that angle 1 is 70 degrees. And there you go for that guy. Number 8. What you had to do for this is use that property about all the three angles. So if the top is congruent to that top and the left is congruent to that right, basically that means you have no choice but to set these two equal to each other. So 2x minus 10 is equal to x plus 15, which is going to give you x is equal to 25, and you are now good to go. Okay? So it's just a little bit of puzzles. Just you got to make sure you know all of your properties so you can set them up. And here's the last one of the day. This one's got a lot of information for you to find. It's a little bit of a challenge, but of course what I'm going to do is ask you to pause the video and try it. So it says that BD bisects angle ABC, and I'm going to call that one angle 1. And then it says BD is perpendicular to AC. What I would like you to do is find X, find angle A, angle C, angle 1, and angle ABC. See if you can do it. Pause the video and give it a try. So let's start. One of the things you had to think about here was the fact that perpendicular means both of these guys are going to be 90. The other thing is that BD bisected angle ABC, which means this guy is congruent to this guy. So if you go back to the 5th property we mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you have two sets of congruent angles in a triangle, by default, the third set is going to be congruent as well. So the first thing you need to do is set 3x equal to x plus 10. So that's going to end up giving you x is equal to 5. Now that you know x is 5, We can substitute that back in and find out that this angle is 15 degrees and this angle is 15 degrees. So now you just have to use a little bit of other stuff about triangles that you know. Since this has two different triangles here, you've got a triangle that was split by a line. This right triangle and left triangle are both going to add up to 180. That's going to give us 180 minus 90 minus 15 is going to tell you that both of these top angles are 75 degrees. Now, if you take that line away, that's going to tell you that this is 15 and this is 15, which is 30. So if you subtracted 30 from 180, you'd get 150 degrees for the top angle. Well, check it out, 75 and 75, because remember, BD bisected that top angle. So that's another way you could have done this problem. Now you should have all the information you need. Angle A is 15 degrees. Angle C is 15 degrees. Angle 1 is 75 degrees. And angle ABC is 150 degrees. And there you have it. Just a little puzzle with some stuff you know about triangles. That's it for this lesson. This is Longo and I'm out. See you, bye.